Pisces, welcome to your Celtic Cross. I hope that you are well. I hope that you are fabulous. Celtic Cross, old school tarot, OG placements, yeah? Really cool. It's a good standard for a reason. You know, it's going to be one of those things where sometimes it's a whole story. Like Scorpio is a great example. Sometimes the Celtic Cross allows us to see a pocket of this and a pocket of that and a bit of this and a bit of that. I never know, but that's one of the benefits, say, in comparison to the general overview, which is just generally open. Direct placements, as we get with Celtic Cross, says, yeah, more than one thing might be playing around, and that's typically true for life as we know it. Anyway, it's always a good read to have. That's why I keep it. I hope that it helps you. So let's get cracking. Show me. But like always, regardless, you take what resonates, we leave what does not. It may not apply to you at all. Just because it says Pisces in the title doesn't mean it's going to fit. In fact, very often, very rarely does 100% of it ever fit. Typically, neither does 0%, right? Sometimes we're a little bit here, we're a little bit there. But for the most part, do keep that in mind. If it just doesn't fit, then don't force it. That's it. That's all there is to it. No big deal, all right? And if you find yourself increasingly frustrated or agitated by the message, or you're just completely disconnected from it, I want you to separate yourself, stop it, pause it, watch it later, or don't watch it at all. Okay? I'm all about free will. I want messages to help you, not hinder you. Okay? So if you find yourself, break away, say, this one isn't for me. Thank you very much. That's it. That's all we got to do. Okay? No big deal. Yeah, there you are at the bottom of the deck. Huh. What you up to? Some of y'all just feeling so good right now. Lovely. Show me that Piscean Collective. Show me that Piscean Collective. What's going on for Pisces, please? Show me Pisces. Very excited. I hope you got to watch the intro of the mid-month check-in out last Sunday, where I introduced to everyone the new segment called the Sunday Shuffle. Brief tarot messages, a little more than 10 minutes, under 20, somewhere in there. But yeah, I'm excited. Little brief check-ins, and it's something I have been meaning to do forever. And now that I'm no longer completely solely in charge of comments, my time has freed up remarkably. So, which reminds me, shout out to our new moderator, Al. Very excited, you guys. Let me tell you something. You wouldn't have thought the energy added up to all that, but it does. And if you want to keep comments open when you manage a channel, it's something that you have to deal with. Comments. And I think we dealt with it. I want everyone to benefit, to share, to learn, to resonate as everyone sees fit. But without the negativity of everything that comes with it. The garbage. Spam, troll, scammers, and then people who are just generally negative and they want to put their garbage on other people. So hopefully we eliminated the worst of that and we can free to communicate with each other once more. All right. Nice. Starting out, the Magician, manifesting. Hold on, just wait a minute. 3 wands crossing. Wait a minute. Is this what I really want? Is this what I want? Is it what I really, really want? Good question. Above you, 6 of Swords, something that's influencing you, having to have moved forward. Are you ready to move on to different areas? It's still influencing you. The 6 of Swords, I had to leave this behind. I'm trying to manifest. Do I know what I'm manifesting now that I've moved forward? Ooh, very good. Interesting. Relevant past, Ace of Wands. I know something inspired you in the recent past. What is trying to exit? Ace of Pentacles, an opportunity that may not have been for you. Having passed that on, moved it on, or it wasn't constructive, it didn't work out, I don't know. What is before you? The Hermit. Scorpio had this same card, same placement. So if you have any Scorpio in your chart, check those out. And I promise you I shuffle this deck many, many, many times in between readings. Okay, your strengths, Knight of Swords, you're willing to take action. Very good. Excellent. Queen of Pentacles in your environment. Beautiful. Hopes and fears, heart space, being full, open, ready to receive. Outcome, 8 of Pentacles. You're just killing it. Ooh, I haven't done Cancers yet, grant you, but, well, so far, water signs are killing it. I am loving this. Look at all this high level of productivity, insight, function. This is what I want. This is what I don't want. Influencing me for the right reasons. Am I summoning forward the right things? State of healing. Oh my goodness, you guys, this is fascinating. All right, let's get into it. I do like your baseline. There are some things I can tell that you gave up or we could not take at the time, but that's okay. That helped us learn what we wanted to move forward on, manifest, how to process, how to heal, how to move forward. And in all this movement and all this activity, I'm seeing a lot of high-level energy here with that Queen of Cups, Queen of Pentacles, love, comfort zone, knowing thy worth, knowing thy heart. It's all good things. Let's get cracking. Show me that Magician. What you thumbing in? Show me that Magician, please. Show me that Magician, please, for Pisces at the very heart of your reading. It's like, I want something. Not yet. Or is it correct? Okay. Okay. Show me that Magician, please. Show me that Magician. Show me that Magician. Show me that Magician. Show me that Magician, please. Ace of Swords, the truth. Four of Swords, the world. We're doing some heavy processing here. It's not a bad thing. It just depends on your points of view and what you learn from it. So there is a cycle here. Something ended or something's trying to open. Right now, I'm leaning towards ending. Okay? But what you're learning from it. And you want to learn more. You do. I see what's hovering above you is influencing you as a Six of Swords. You either moved on from something or someone moved on from you. And it still influences you. What the direction is, I don't know. You're the Pisces who's either lived it or you haven't. So you would know best. Okay? But we're learning a lot. So whatever it is that closed out, it started teaching us things. And here's what's interesting. You're showing me I want to know more. I want to know more. I want to learn from something having closed out so I can be in a position of opening back up. See what I'm saying? They kind of go hand in hand, and that's typically true of the world. You can't close a door without opening another. And there's a lot of time in between those concepts. But your idea is like, this happened. This cycle generated. Ace of Swords. I know it. I've learned a great deal. Four Swords. It taught me to rest, reflect, to honor my own thoughts, my own feelings on the subject. And it also seems to have put you in a very strong position to manifest from this point forward. You seem to know this. There is a restoration period here, calm, introspective. I'm healing, okay? So whether or not you acted the cycle or it was put upon you, regardless, you learned a lot from it. It is helping you grow. It's helping you to expand. And it's also teaching you what it is that you do want. So I don't know what it is that you are manifesting, but the idea is that something closed off. I'm looking outwards now on the horizon because I've learned a lot. I've grown a lot. So now I want to be open. But am I ready? Do I know what I'm doing yet? So you're showing me caution with your manifestation skills. But it's based on experience and having learned a lot. So that means you're not just trying to randomly manifest. You're really trying to hone in on what it is you want to pull forward to you. And the idea is, not so fast. I don't want to do it so fast. I want to be sure. I want to be accurate, right? Show me that Three of Wands, please. Show me that Three of Wands. 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 King of Pentacles, Two of Swords. Yeah, because you haven't made up your mind yet. You also want anything that you summon forward to be coming from the best possible place within you. You do not want it to be fear-based. There's something here about sometimes I have pulled myself towards situations, people, places, things, situations that were either based in fear or desires or the wrong kind of pull, wrong kind of attraction. So that's why you're showing me, yes, I want to pull something towards me based on wisdom, experience, insight, healing. So when I next manifest, I need to know what I'm aiming myself at. I completely agree. So you've learned some stuff, huh? So what that devil is whatever it means to you. You just telling me you don't want to manifest blindly. Okay, so that's causing a delay in your manifestation efforts, but again, I can kind of see why. You did learn quite a bit. It's like whatever I manifest, it needs to come from the best from me. Practically speaking, it needs to serve me. Practically speaking, it needs to be my worth and my value. So I'm not just trying to pull in any old random thing or any old random person. I've been there, I've done that. My manifestations have sometimes gone astray, or they're just a representation of old patterns, old fears, old addictions, whatever that is to you. But for the most part, you're saying, I don't want to do that anymore. I don't want to manifest solo. I don't want to manifest blind anymore. I need to know what I'm doing. And it needs to be a good representation of me. So I don't see you doing anything yet. You are aware that you can manifest. You are aware that you can attract. But you are also aware that you have a responsibility, this is great insight, about what it is that you're pulling towards you. Okay, so I think that's very responsible of you. And you're kind of like, there's a law of responsibility in here that I'm seeing that says, I understand, and this is true, I am the common denominator in everything that I manifest. So if I'm pulling stuff towards me that's not good, or it's a representation of my old self, old fears, old patterns, old behaviors that no longer apply to me, I'm the one doing that. So I need to be more aware of what I'm pulling towards me, because it needs to work for me. It needs to serve me. It needs to put me in my state of higher good. I agree. That's really great. That's really great insight in there. And that's why some of you, there might be that restlessness that exists in your energy that suggests, I want to pull something towards me. I do. I do. Something's closed off. It taught me a lot. I don't want to make the same mistakes. What do I want to do next? I want to figure that out. So you might have that restlessness in there. But it's coming from a good place with you. Again, you're not just trying to randomly pull in from the universe. You're trying to tell me you're being directional, responsible, right? You want to manifest from the best in you. That serves you. I completely agree. Let's see what it is the Six of Swords is about, because it's coming across as a heavy influence. Show me that Six of Swords, please. Show me that Six of Swords. Show me that Six of Swords. Show me that Six of Swords. Show me that Six of Swords, please. Show me that Six of Swords. What's going on? Let's do one more. Show me that Six of Swords, please. Knights of Pentacles, Death, the Sun. Okay, something that we understood, it seems like a contradiction, but it's true, and it took a long time for this to exit. I mean, a long time. I can again see, I'm telling you, it's a Scorpio, it's already kind of after the fact, and it's still with us. It's still lingering. That's what the hovering position is. This is stuff that's influencing us on the day-to-day. Sometimes it's very obvious, sometimes it's not so obvious. This was kind of obvious. Six of Swords. Somebody here forcibly had to move on from something that was over. I see your reaction is, this is Six of Swords. I got to move away from this. It happened. There's nothing I can do about it. The Knights of Pentacles, the Death, the Sun. Something here that made us very happy and made us feel very warm. Very much in touch and in tune with our greater sense of just, again, this makes me deliriously happy. Like dazed and confused. Oh, kind of happy, right? That's what it is to live in the sun. A child just lives in the sun. They're not aware of everything. They just know that they're happy in that moment. It's bliss. It's bliss in the moment. But it ended quite abruptly with death being there. However, it took a long time for death to arrive. So when he did, it was instantaneous. There was a portion of the sun lost. Something that inherently made us happy and smile and stupid and put something on our face like that. So it was a long time coming, but when it happened, it happened. And I still see you kind of mentally trying to move on from it. In other words, it's done, but you still have a mental process towards it. That's not complete yet. And with energy like that, okay, the Death and the Sun, it's going to take a minute. But I don't see you being angry. I don't see you being upset. It's an acceptance that I think you knew it was a matter of time. That Knight of Pentacles can be very, very slow. But as the most realistic of knights, it tells me you kind of knew. You knew. In some way. You felt it. Or you just logically knew that this sun, whatever this is, was a temporary sun, or it could only be sustained for so long. Okay. And I think this is part of that cycle that you're showing me closed off. You learned a lot from it. You're healing from it. And yes, you want to manifest, but you don't want to manifest from a place of this could happen again, or I don't want to manifest from my fears. I don't want to manifest any old patterns. I need to manifest the best for me. So I'm seeing delay. And I know you want to do something. The thing is, you want a really strong definition of what that is. Yes. So you're learning. And you're showing me caution with what you want, while you are still developing the understanding of what you want. Okay? So that's pretty intense. I know when it was done, it was done. You knew it was a long time coming. It was a matter of time. It was almost like a countdown for some of you. You didn't want it to, but you do. And I'm very curious. I'm very tempted to dig further into that devil. I'm very curious about what that is. You have a very strong practical side to you. Reliable, resourceful. And sometimes some of you have a very hard time giving yourself permission to manifest what you really want. And that is your particular devil. A pattern for some of you. Not knowing what you really want, but inherently you feel this need to manifest something that you want. And then you kind of get these different results, right? Something like that. Huge emphasis on that. It's almost like you're studying it. I'm trying to study manifestation. I'm trying to better understand how to pull it towards me. Basically, law of attraction. If you are desirous and afraid of a goal, a love, or whatever, you're going to attract it and most likely repel it simultaneously. So this is what you call mixed manifestation, you know. And if many of you are accustomed to manifesting from one point of view only, security, resourcefulness, that's a representation of fear. It says, my comfort zone is always a priority, not necessarily that I love myself or that I'm open to love, but I need to be secure. So that's a lot of restricted manifestation. So I don't quite know what it is that you want better clarity and vision on in terms of manifestation. I just know that you are in a phase where you're trying to find that out for yourself, because it's kind of like, I don't want to manifest the same old thing. That means I've kept doing it the same way and I keep getting the same results that are not good for me. So what do I really want? And it's very interesting. It's quite a bit of depth. It's interesting. Ace of Wands in the relevant past. Show me that Ace of Wands, please, in the relevant past. It's very interesting. Show me that Ace of Wands, please, in the relevant past. Show me that. Show me that Ace of Wands. Eight of Cups, Strength, Chariot. You, again, I'm sorry, I hate to be a repeater, but it's kind of the same thing. I can tell that this, whatever this is, really hugely impacted you. But the idea is that we learn and we grow, and then we don't really fail at all. We just succeed in different ways, okay? Somebody here walked away. The passion was here. Somebody showed up very strongly with their heart. The other person was intrigued. They had passion for it, but they weren't emotionally available, so they detached, or they were never there from the beginning. But it felt good. It felt good to engage in it. It did. It brought out a certain strength in somebody and a certain sense of fire and being lit. It's contagious. It put a certain spirit in us and affected us in a certain way. So I don't know who is who. I just know that when somebody showed up, they showed up, and when the other person showed up, it was because they were intrigued and inspired, possibly turned on, but they weren't emotionally present. Okay? And this was relevant to the past, and possibly why I'm saying this, you know? And that means somebody here received more joy from the situation than they understood, while remaining emotionally detached from it. And you wouldn't think that's the case, but it's kind of like, how can I say this? let's say you're at a birthday. Remember being a kid and how excited you were for birthday parties, and because it was you knew it was coming. And that's joy. That's that simple joy of the sun is out. Joy, 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 and you can feel all this joy and magnificence and smile and silly and stupid, but you didn't realize that you were feeling love for that situation or for yourself while you were in it. Now you think if you're feeling that much joy and that much happiness that your heart would be there. Nope. If we don't acknowledge that our heart's there, we can say that we don't have feeling for it even while we're experiencing intense, beautiful, natural pleasure from it. It's such a weird thing, but unless we check in with ourselves during these intense moments of the sun and we don't take it for granted, it's because we're allowing ourselves to say, in this moment, I feel love for this situation. I feel love for myself, or I feel love for someone else. And I think this is kind of what happened here. Somebody's experiencing intense joy, sun, love, inspiration, passion. But in the moment of experiencing these things was not emotionally present and understanding that they love this situation, that they love themselves, or that they love the other person presenting or help present this energy too, because it takes two. And with that, somebody's energy exited. And I see how it's impacted you. I don't know if it was you or them, but let's go and take a look at that Ace of Pentacles. Is trying to exit the opportunity. Work or otherwise, I do not know. Show me that Ace of Pentacles, please. Your baseline's beautiful, don't get me wrong. But there's a lot of complex stuff in here that's just sorting. And it's going to take a minute. You're going to have moments of frustration, I should think. Show that Ace of Pentacles, please. Four of Cups, Ten of Cups, Three of Pentacles. Somebody is truly, truly sorry and sad that this friendship, whatever this is, didn't work out. There wasn't enough put into it. Somebody was seriously trying to present work, seriousness, intensity, not just intensity, but sincerity. I'm really trying to put the strength of myself into this connectivity. I want to cooperate with you. I want to get along with you. I want us to have realistic, constructive efforts. If we call ourselves friends, that's cool. Let's be friends. But the goal here was emotional harmony between you and somebody, and really wanting to get on the same emotional page about we're friends, and I can say I love you as a friend. And that's why I'm here. That's why I'm showing up. That's why I'm putting constructive effort into this. And somebody here was disappointed that they couldn't or wouldn't. So I'm seeing, again, the reaction of two energies. One that showed up with a lot of strength of heart and intensity and sincerity, and the other person enjoying it, but also not being fully present. Okay, so again, that seems to be a very strong comprehensive scope between what's beneath you, passing, and what still is affecting you, hovering. There you go. It's not a judgment call on my part, guys. Ever. You must remember that. Don't take these personally as in from me. I'm not making judgment calls upon you. I'm interpreting this, as complex as it is, to give it back to you so that it might help you in some way. But no judgment. It defeats the purpose. And I need to say that every now and again because, like I said, people do get defensive and they won't apply the rules. Just separate. They won't do it. And I feel bad for them because you get all up in those feels and you want to argue with somebody or take it out on somebody. That's just not why I'm here, guys. So again, just let me reassure you, there's no judgment. Okay? This is either you or the reverse, or most likely it's a mix between you two. But I have one consistent theme. Two people. Both a great deal of experience, attributes, in a sense of, this makes me feel really good. You both had that. Somebody showed up completely with what they meant and how they were willing to measure it in the real world. And somebody else was kind of like, I'm trying to meet you there, but I can't. I just know that it makes me feel good. But I'm struggling to acknowledge how this is affecting me emotionally, or that I have an emotional stake in this. And that's it. So I'm leaning toward you, as this is your reading. But again, it's not a judgment, even if it is true. And it could be a reversal. Okay? There you go. The core of your energy is showing me a high level of concentration in terms of deep thought, consideration, reflection, healing, acknowledging the world. You don't argue with that. You knew it was coming. You knew it was coming. You're not arguing with that. It's what happens now. The Hermit. We're switching. Show me the Hermit, please. Show me the Hermit, please. Yeah, right there. So you're trying to heal those old patterns, fears, thoughts, the demons. I'm not convinced it's addictions, guys. I just, doesn't feel like that. There's something here about fear and being tied to one's comfort zone, while being at the same time comfortable in that. And there's nothing wrong with being a King, Queen of Pentacles, but there's nothing you can't turn into a fear, really. There's nothing you can't turn into fear, and there's nothing you can't turn into addiction. Some people have a very hard time changing tracks, you know? Especially if whatever it is that you were experiencing was an unexpected source of joy, unexpected source of passion and inspiration, and an unexpected sun. And it might have thrown some of you off, you know? I wasn't expecting this. I didn't know how to incorporate change with this. I did the best I could, but I couldn't emotionally attach to it. That could be, sure. Now, I tell you what, when you experience pure joy, you did. I don't think you stopped and allowed yourself to acknowledge your heart while you were experiencing it. Again, it's like, sometimes you got to remind that kid at the birthday party, honey, this is for you. This is all for you because I love you. Right? And then that gives that kid feedback that it's permission. It's good to love yourself. Sometimes it's good to have yourself celebrated. And I feel like sometimes in those moments, Pisces, honey, you didn't, in these moments of pure joy and inspiration and passion, it's like you didn't allow yourself to think, this is happening because I love myself and I'm allowing myself to experience these things because it feels good, or because it feels right, or because it brings me so much joy. It's responding to a place of love within me, and I'm trying to attract myself to it. You know, it could have been fear, simply. That could be it. King of Pentacles, Two of Swords, the Devil. Somebody has a tendency to hold themselves back. You know? I don't know. But we're learning. We're learning intensely. Show me that Hermit, please. Very curious. I need a couple more on this one. Show me that Hermit, please. Show me that Hermit. Show me that Hermit. Show me that Hermit. Yeah. Five of Swords. There it is. Three of Wands. There it is. The Seven of Cups. Yeah. Yeah, there it is, really. The Three of Wands was already crossing you in healing your self-sabotage. Five of Swords. I mean, it was pretty straightforward, wasn't it? I literally just got done like, this. You're very complex, Pisces, honey. Very complex. Nonetheless, you were here. And the Pisces I'm looking at is that you're doing your best to understand. And I give you full credit for that. You don't want to, again, it's kind of like the days of blind manifestation are over. I need to see where this is coming from within me. So the next time if I attract a sun and an Ace of Wands again, that same kind of thing will happen, right? And the Five of Swords, yeah, we're healing intensely. Beautiful. Excellent. I love this. This is great. This is great. It's direct, active, not screwing up healing. I mean, sometimes I was telling Scorpio, the Hermit wanders around and gets lost in its own complexity, but that's the brilliant thing about the Hermit. He doesn't care if he gets lost. To him, it's all part of the journey. This Hermit is really focused on self-sabotage and our doubts and our fears and the shit that holds us back. So this is what this is. It's like, how can I be so resourceful and reliable and well-to-do and not know what it is that holds me back? How did I hold myself back from this when it was presented to me? How can I feel so strongly towards it, but at the same time, not allow myself to feel it while it was there. Oh, yeah, it's very good shit, honey. That's very complex. Very good. Very complex thoughts, very complex feelings, very good. The more we address these things, the better. And I know it can seem like mental and emotional gymnastics, because technically it is. And that kind of stuff can just, it can wipe you out. Okay, so take breaks. Take time to yourself. You need more time to yourself, I'm guessing. That's a strong guess. But you need more time to yourself. You need to get lost for a minute, honey. Talk about deviating the path. Maybe you should get lost for a bit. Go walk a trail you've never walked before. I don't know. Go do something. Go do something that you're familiar with, but is slightly different than what you're used to. And we generate some of that activity. Okay? Like, again, if you're like a trail walker, right? I've always walked this trail. I've never done this one. Let's go do this one. Simple, small things like that. I just want you to get out of your head a little more so it can help change and shape the direction of your thoughts and your feelings, so you can get more of that activity that's good for you. So sometimes, you know, not all who wander are lost. Sometimes you have to get lost to find yourself. And you're doing a lot of work here. So again, take breaks, you know, and get back to it when you're ready. But yeah. Was I being a fool by thinking I had options in love? The answer to that is no. Was I a fool to think that this person loved me? Nope. No. Was I a fool to think I could love this situation? No. You did. You just wouldn't allow yourself to acknowledge that love while you were experiencing all that joy and bliss. That part wasn't a lie. The self-sabotage part came in when you didn't want to acknowledge it while you were in it, because it's a pattern for some of you to hold yourself back even while you're experiencing the best possible things. It's almost like you can't give yourself permission to really engage in everything that makes you feel good about you. You know, there's a huge delay here. A huge delay that you have between your experiences and what you allow yourself to feel. And somewhere in that translation, you talk yourself out of it, even while you have such joy. When you look at that delay, how come you can't connect with your experiences right there, right then? You know what I mean? That kind of thing. These are all good questions, and they're all very deep. All very deep. So I apologize it's so vague. The concentration is on you. The thing I'm looking at is another energy, but it's after the fact, so their energy is a little fuzzier for me. It's really the concentration about you and what you're currently going through, what you're learning and growing, okay? And healing. More to the point, active healing, active healing. It's fear that holds you back, honey. It's like I'm blind to these. Nope. And yet it feels so good at the same time. It does happen. All right. Your strengths, you're willing to take action. In what sense at the Knight of Swords? I do not know. Let's take a look. Show me that Knight of Swords, please. You have a very strong baseline. I know that you are someone who is used to experiences, but they're experiences that you're used to, right? Those are the ones that you've always said yes to over and over again. The ones that, practically speaking, make sense to you. The smooth parts, the ones that don't have any wrinkles, that stuff, that makes sense? Yeah. That's not an issue. That's not the issue. We're talking about what really emotionally sparks joy for you. You got the joy. That's what's crazy, right? You felt the joy. You felt it so distinctly. But your heart wasn't connecting to it. You know? And perhaps you talked yourself out of that. It wasn't all that joy. It wasn't all that happy. That was just in that moment. Right? And it's in that moment where we make critical choices. It's really not all that much, and that's your Five of Swords talking. It's the Seven of Cups talking. There's not much feeling in this. That's what that is. There's not much feeling in this. You're looking at that now, the Hermit, in those moments. What was I really feeling then? And why didn't I allow myself to feel it while I was in it? Yeah, I know it's vague today, guys, but it's okay. These are some really strong concepts we're talking about today. All right, Knight of Swords. You know, it's like I have this really righteous electric guitar, but I never plug it into the amp. Ah, there we go. There we go. I don't know where that came from, but there we go. There it is. The Five of Wands, the Nine of Pentacles, Eight of Swords. You are really fighting for your own sense of freedom. That's a really interesting summary, but you're willing to do it. And it's in your strengths. You are really strongly trying to fight for your own freedom and your willingness to see, your willingness to open up, for you to be more in touch with you. And it's hard because it's looking to me, honey, like you're having to strip back layers of goodness knows what. Conditioning, family cycles of how you grew up, your expectations versus reality. I feel like for many of you, you just were never in a position perhaps, and even as far back as childhood, where you were allowed to just enjoy yourselves and enjoy your moment. There was always a consequence. There was always a price to pay. There was always some sort of attachment or anti-attachment that wouldn't allow you to be connected with you. And it's something that you are really having to fight through to find yourself, but you are doing it. There's something in here about I can't be selfish, I can't live in the moment, or this is just, you have a hard time, I think, connecting your sense of happiness with love. Like, how dare I enjoy this moment? I can't do that. I can't do that. I can't love this moment. I can't. It's not that. No. Practically speaking, this is not a representation of me. It's. And in that moment, in those layers, in those critical seconds, you decided that something meant something to you, or you talked yourself out of it meaning anything to you. That's who I'm looking at. I think that you are that Pisces, that in several moments in your life, you talk yourself out of that situation that made you feel so good, like it meant anything at all. And you were struggling so hard in an almost very real, literal sense to free yourself. To free yourself from the blindness and the confusion. You have to fight yourself. I mean, I think that's fair. I think that's a fair summary. I think that's a fair representation of what I'm seeing here. You're having to fight yourself and what it is that you've always told yourself is right for you, and it just turned out to be a very old pattern that you couldn't let go of. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I know. I get that. You have to fight hard for your freedom sometimes. To be your own person, and there's a huge emphasis on this. You're having to fight to be your own person. Who am I really? What am I actually connected to? There's the stuff that I know makes me strong, independent, and free. And there's the stuff that I feel that binds me and keeps me from being me. You know? I think that's fair. And you're working through it. It's going to take work. But you're indeed looking at it. Okay? I'm not saying it's pretty. But your baseline reassures me that, again, you're a Pisces with some experience on you. And the fact that you're willing to look at such difficult concepts gives me a lot of hope for who you are and what you're about. And perhaps you don't give yourself enough credit. So why this is impacting you as hard as it is, I don't know, other than the fact that it's taught you a lot about who you really are, what you attract, and why you allow yourself to see it a certain way and experience a certain way when it was presented to you in another form. Okay? And holding yourself back is a big part of that. That means you have to fight to know who you are. You have to fight to know who you are so you know what you can accept and what you should accept and what you are plugged into, right? Being an electric guitar in and of itself is cool, but oh my God, have you ever tried plugging that thing into the amplifier? You see what I'm saying? It's different. It's a different experience. And not everybody just has it handed to them. No, sometimes you really have to fight to be your own person. But you have to know that you want to. So when I tell you, you're like, okay, manifestation, I understand. I want to pull something in, but I need to learn about this first. Okay, very good. Queen of Pentacles is in your environment. You opened up with that. I know. Your sense of resourcefulness and stability is high priority to you. And then there's nothing wrong with that. If that's your mode of operation, that's your mode of operation. But I think some of you have taken it to a place of being very strict. This is practical, and these are my decisions based around that practicality, responsibility, that kind of thing, resourcefulness, even if it's not what I really, really want, but I'm used to it. And there's you know, I don't know why it got taken to that place. And the fact that some of you have a very hard time accepting, really hard time accepting and plugging into accepting what makes you happy. Like right there in that moment, how do I feel about this? What am I pulling in and why? Is it for me? How do I allow myself to acknowledge and experience that in this moment this is for me and not just something else that I have to deny myself? No, I think some of you are just so used to that denial twitch. It's like a reflexive muscle for some of you, and I think that's what some of your particular devils are. You're just so used to denying. Your intuition, King of Cups, the Nine of Wands. There's so much resistance here, honey. This is exactly what I'm talking about. This is exactly what I'm talking about. It's not that you can't be plugged into your feelings, and it's really odd saying that to a Pisces. It's not that you can't be. You are highly intuitive. I think you have some damn strong earth in your chart, which is not a knock on earth. It's just I keep seeing it. Otherwise, you are a Pisces who has a very strong emphasis on that material world stability. No wrinkles. No wrinkles, please. Wrinkles confuse me. And even if those wrinkles feel good, I got to say no to them. Your heart space, the potential for it is kind of massive. King of Cups and the High Priestess. And it's blocked. Nine of Wands. What were we talking about, guys? If it makes me feel good, if I personally have love for it, I don't know. We're used to operating out of this mode of comfort, practicality, reliability, and so forth. But when it comes to our big feelings, which you have massive potential for, I believe you're highly intuitive. I do. I believe you're highly... The High Priestess with the King of Cups, forget about it. Highly intuitive. Highly intuitive. And you block it. What were we talking about this whole time? When you have moments of pure joy and sun and inspiration and passion, you won't allow yourself to plug into the feeling and accept it right there, right then. And I think, my love, that's your devil. Because honestly, that I've seen that devil's nothing. That devil's nothing. But to you, I mean, to me it isn't, but to you it might be everything. It might be that it's like perhaps you see emotional decisions or emotional qualities as being too deviant or too outside the normative for what looks like a practical decision making or practical way of life, when really that's just your fear drawing you back. Don't get emotionally attached to that. No. It gives you that much joy? Fuck no. Get away from it. It could hurt you. Ha! I just saved your life, Pisces. Kind of like that. Don't you dare enjoy this too much. I'll take it away from you. See what I'm saying? You experience such strong, blissful moments. Strong, constructive effort with somebody. Huge. Leo, Scorpio, Cancer. It's not really the point. Huge joy. But there's that practical side of you. I always knew this was going to end. Yeah, you did. But why? I think there's a reason that you think is obvious to you, that's practical, and then there's what actually happened. What actually happened is that when you have moments that are so blissful, the happiest card in the deck, the passion, the intensity, the inspiration, you wouldn't allow yourself to plug into it. And that's why you always, quote unquote, knew this was going to happen. Yeah. You block the thing that would merge you to it the most. Your feeling. Not the practicals, the feeling. What were we talking about this whole time? I told you this one's a bit complex, honey, but I like it. It's very good. This is really good tarot stuff we're doing today. Your emotional potential is huge. Is that what that is? Because you feel so deeply? Because you know you can feel so deeply? It was just easier for you from the very beginning. Possibly we're talking childhood. Because you don't want to get hurt. Because you feel so much that it was just easier for you to lean into the practical side, the pentacle side, to reduce your odds of getting hurt. Because some of you are absolutely terrified to express that much in you. To feel that much. to allow yourself to feel that much. That's a big permission thing right there. Because you know your heart's so much bigger. You're afraid to be hurt. Those are the wrinkles, you know. Those are beautiful wrinkles. I hope that you get there one day. As much as you're afraid. And you are. Your Queen of Cups is literally under your hopes and fears. You actually want to feel more, but you're afraid too simultaneously. God dang it. Couldn't make this shit up if I tried, guys. Hopes and fears. Why is hopes and fears called hopes and fears? Because one and the other is usually the same. That's why. Typically one's a reflection of the other. What I hope for the most is what I fear for the most. You want the big feelings, but you're afraid of them. So you don't plug into them when you have the moment. That's how you always knew this was going to... So I don't know how bright that sun was for you. I don't know how strong that Ace of Wands for you. It looks pretty damn strong through my eyes. The 3D that it afforded, it looked highly constructive, or had the possibility to be highly constructive, but for some reason it required you to tap into a higher state of emotional self in order to achieve it. Or this person was asking you to step into it could be that too. It could be that they were asking you to step into a higher state of emotional balance with them, and you felt that you couldn't. I mean, again, I've seen it, but it's what you desire the most. Okay, show me that Queen of Cups, please. Show me that Queen of Cups, please. Show me that Queen of Cups. Show me that Queen of Cups, please. Show me that Queen of Cups. Page of Cups, the Empress, Ace of Swords. Somebody's in here. Somebody's in here. We have a strong truth tied to whoever that is. This is one of the... Okay. When having to heal for whatever that particular cycle was, strong piece of knowledge, which, again, you're not rejecting or denying. Good. I know you're rational. I can see it. You're rational and you're practical to a fault. I get why. It's because you have a huge heart. Long story short, you have a huge heart and you're terrified of being hurt by your huge feelings, so it's easier for you to lean into the practicals. I got it. I think you've been like that for a long time, if not all your life. And if that's the case, I am sorry that not more people in your life told you to plug into the moment. That sun makes you feel good. Feel it. Allow yourself to love it. Allow you to love yourself. When we don't plug into our suns and our Ace of Wands and our Ace of Pentacles, the shit that makes us happy and we know it's solid and legit, but we feel it, we yearn for it, we burn for it, but we don't allow ourselves to love ourselves in the moment, to claim it, we end up rejecting it in some way, or it ends up rejecting us in some way. It doesn't always have to be like that. You're learning this. So, oh no, I do make a right mess, don't I? All right, Page of Cups, the Queen of Cups. Those big feelings you have, they are manageable. That's all this is saying here. The Page of Cups, opening up the heart space a little bit to someone who's very, very important. The Empress, Ace of Swords. This is one of the truths that we are recognizing in someone else. Those big feelings you have here in you. I know you're highly intuitive. I know you are. I don't think you're used to tapping into it. Resonates with somebody else. Someone who actually has a very strong heart. Or is very emotionally expressive. Heavy feminine energy here. It doesn't have to be, but I did want to acknowledge for some reason it's coming across that way. Heavily feminine and possibly maternal. Page of Cups, the Empress, and the Ace of Swords. So we have that strong truth. We see it in someone else. We, more to the point, feel it in someone else. We hope for this. We hope for this. To resonate in love with somebody at this level. The way you naturally are inclined towards it, but don't allow yourself to plug into it. What we desire in ourselves, you see it in someone else. I know you do. What will come of that, I do not know. I just know that the energy affords you to do this. Otherwise, it wouldn't be here. So hope remains. Always. Eight of Pentacles, you're working through something. Whether or not you do, they are again. Heavy water orientation. Heavy water orientation. They might be a healer. Okay. A little bit on the confident side. Heavy water into here. Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. The point is that I think that you are strongly compelled towards this person's truth because it's the truth you see in you. And you would like to feel it in you too. Okay. You're working on it. You're working on something. Some of the Eight of Pentacles, please. Some of the Eight of Pentacles. Some of the Eight of... This was a bit tricky. You put me through the ropes on this one, but I like it. I like it a lot. Oh, I always have to dig. It's just weird to dig for a Pisces, and it's weird to dig for a Cancer. Helping Cancer understand their feelings, that's different. But having to dig for water signs' feelings, no, that's different. That's okay. You might be that Pisces is one of your well, not off-brand, but it's like it's not one of your dominants, so, you know, Sun, Moon, Rising, even Venus. Those are like be the top four. Perhaps Pisces is one of your very minor house categories. I don't know. Okay, it's just, it doesn't feel like dominant Pisces. Or even if you are dominant Pisces and you resonate with this, if you have never been encouraged in your environments and growing up or in relationships, etc., to say, hey, Pisces, you know what, this moment where you're so happy, allow yourself to feel the love for it. And in so doing, you feel the love for yourself. And you know what's good for you. You know what makes you happy. And you won't end up rejecting it by accident. Okay. Because there was a lot of time here to reject the Sun. But it comes off the back of that, I always knew it was going to end. Yeah. I know you have a practical reason why you always knew it was going to end. It runs deeper than that. It did run deeper than that. Eight of Pentacles. Show me the Eight of Pentacles, please. Show me the Eight of Pentacles. Show me the Eight of Pentacles, please. The Chariot, the Hanged Man, Strength. Ooh. Ooh. The reason I went like that is because I saw that same combo over her. That Strength and the Chariot. What was lost is coming back in some way. I don't know what it will look like, but the energy surge is such as that it's matching the past. So what that looks like, I don't know, but those very things we have been discussing, you are literally working through. There's a bit of a pause here, and I saw that pause already over your manifestation. You told me you were restless. You want to do something, but you don't want to do it in vain, and you don't want to be unaware of it. You want to be consciously manifesting. So of course I'm seeing a time delay with that Three of Wands crossing you while you sort all these things out and more. And you're doing exactly that. So we have gone from, even though it looks like it's hands off, it's actually incredibly active. There will be a bit of a time delay, but that power surge reemerges under the Chariot and Strength once more. How it is that you work through this with whomever or whatever the situation is, I don't know, but you've been activated. And you are applying all these things that we have been talking about. I see the strength of your particular convictions showing up where theirs might have done in the past. Yours is now coming through very brightly. With the strength, so those are back-to-back seasons. That is Cancer that flows into Leo season. That could very well be a reference to now. Working through these things now. And how it reemerges, I don't know. But the conviction of your energy is such that says, I'm working on this actively. I have a better idea of what I'm doing now than I did then. I don't know. I don't know if it's going to be with the same person, but your energy is showing me a very similar reflection to what it did with this person in the past, but this time it's much more self-aware, much more aware of being in the moment, living and allowing yourself to love through the moment, love for yourself, love for the situation as it gives you joy, and as you experience it, and it's much stronger than it was. But of course it's going to be much stronger than it was. It's because you're allowing yourself to feel it this time. So good job. Very good job. Your hopes and your fears are very simple. You deeply have a huge heart with big feelings. You're also highly intuitive, but you won't allow yourself to plug into it. That's why, of course, in your heart's desire, you wish to resonate with that very person who speaks to the same language. Okay? We are often attracted to people who represent those parts of ourselves that are missing. It's actually not missing. You just want it to be pulled out of you, I believe. So of course you're going to be attracted to somebody who's already like this. All right? I can't say I'm surprised. I think this is who you really are, and it's the part of you that gets to express itself the least. I do. You're working through it. You're making massive progress. Excellent. All that lovely, careful, steady approach has been very beneficial to you. No time checks. I've already given you an idea, I believe, but you're working through it now in present day. The actual movement in the 3D. I think all this situation was calling for was a strong sense of solid interest in working out the basics, but at a higher level of emotional functioning. In other words, you and I get on the same page. Know that my efforts to construct with you are real and valid and solid as hell, and I love you very much as a friend. Can we work from that premise? And I think that in that vein, you're starting to see things more. I don't know, but you're doing your due diligence here. Okay, I like how you're getting more comfortable with your emotional side of your manifestation, right? Because after I see all the time, manifest, and if we don't know what we're doing, how much we want it, that it's good for us, we'll talk ourselves out of it. Our fears will hijack our experience and say, no, that's not true. I mean, again, bravo on that active healing on those very subjects, the Five of Swords, how I talked myself out of it, that there wasn't love there, or it didn't mean anything, or, that. We're stopping that now. This is much more active participation in our feelings and the strength of our own particular spirit and will. Very good. That's excellent. I'm very pleased with this. I like this quite a bit. I like that. Yeah, I feel like you're someone who's very experienced, but you're also equally experienced. You're also equally experienced in rejecting your heart, your feelings, for yourself, for situations, and other people. Not because you're bad, it's just you're afraid of being hurt. You see how afraid of being hurt has really stayed with you over the years. I also don't think you were encouraged enough to love yourself in your youth. Sorry, that's just the impression I'm getting. Okay, last quarter moon in Aries, work through your feelings. Okay. And that shifted. Full moon in Pisces, forgive. Forgive yourself for not knowing. Forgive yourself for not being able to feel in the moment, even though you wanted to. I see the rejection principle where it comes from, and it predates all of this. It's very old. It's a very old pattern I believe you have. Playing it safe isn't always playing it safe. Sometimes it's just playing it safe is fear, and it just makes more problems in our lives, not less. There's consequences to playing it safe, especially if you don't know why you are. But I get why. You're afraid of being hurt. Despite all that beautiful love in you. Work through your feelings. Full moon in Pisces. Forgive yourself. Forgive the situation. You did what happened at the time. Okay? It doesn't mean it has to apply to you forever, and it doesn't always have to be the same, and it doesn't have to be your normative if you don't allow it to. That's enough. Put in the comments as you see fit. I do hope this helped you. I'll see you in approximately 2 weeks for your next reading. Take care. Be well.